You know what a fighter jet is? It's built to do all these wonderful things and it's just sitting there idly, stuck. I want you to listen to something.
Oh, what a night. Strippers and white line. The fight against
Strippers, white lines, and a fighter jet that won't fly. Stay with me, stay with me. I want you to think metaphorically about these three things. He said, oh, what a night. Strippers and white lines. It's like you had a wonderful night, doing things that people would naturally judge people for. A fighter jet that won't fly. That's also something that people would judge. There's a massive fighter jet. You know what a fighter jet is? A fighter jet is built, is meant to fly and do crazy maneuvers, and stunts. Now think of it, a fighter jet that's built to do all these wonderful things and it's just sitting there idly, stuck. That's a lot of lost potential, a lot of dormant energy just sitting there. It's a lot of tied up resources. I don't want to call it wasted resources because it's like having uh, your cash stock in your inventory. So it's just there, not living up to its expectations, stock. And a lot of us feel this in our everyday lives, and the realization it hits us the most when something pivotal happens in our life. Or, for example, during graduation, some performance review weeks before it, when you're thinking about your life. It could be when you about to celebrate a birthday. It's a major, like 30 years, 40 years. A full out 40 is a full forever, those kind of things. And could even be celebrating a new year, new me. So I see this a lot happening, and it's usually because we feel this this lack of really knowing how to communicate our worth and understanding that when something is stuck, it really means that something isn't working quite right. It means that you need to tweak something, right? For example, if I started down fly, it could be that it is not filled, right? There's not enough fuel in it. It could be that particular something in the electronics is as burns, needs to replace a coil, whatever it is. It could be something really small that you need to change and things are going to get better. And of course, because I'm an international development professional and I've been in the industry for generally doing consulting for about a decade now, I understand. I mean, I can connect this to international development and what it means for a country. A lot of us in Africa understand firsthand what it means to be judged and written off due to negative narratives. For example, the strippers and white line from that song. By the way, that song is from the sensational Bremo. I love him. I feel like many of his songs have hidden gems that have not been explored. Of course, he's a controversial person. I know. But yeah, I like his music. I like how he sings it and what he says, the lyrics. So back to the Africa thing. Africa has been undervalued for a long time, and the narratives that are like spawned around about Africa, they don't help matters, right? Um, so generally, I feel like this whole line about oh what a night, strippers and white lines, and fighter jet that won't fly really speaks to two things. One, being judged and undervalued. Second thing being not living up to your expectations, the expectations you set for yourselves, and the expectations, I'll say the potential inherent in you. Um, Lots of people, lots of things, lots of like I would say, many of the problems that are facing Africa today are due to these two things I've mentioned, and of course, partially due to them. There's lots of other reasons, but if we could just tell better stories about ourselves, put ourselves in a better light, a better PR, and really doing the work and tweaking, changing the things, preventing us from flying like the fighter jets. They're supposed to fly and so high and do crazy maneuvers.